Hi, my name is Brendan Connolly, and I'm here to give you an update on how things are progressing in inclusive automation from the RisingSTAR project. Going into January, I believed I had a relatively straightforward task of deciding how to position inclusive automation in Jupyter Notebooks. And that was to determine who the real audience would be and then build a strategy around that to communicate value to them, how to reach out and find those people and get them convinced that this is something they're interested in doing. I thought this would be relatively straightforward in terms of tasks. And then maybe with a few nuggets of wisdom, I'd be able to wrap it up with a pretty little bow and move forward. But as I've reflected more and more on the topic and exchanged messages and had conversations with some of the supporters, it's become increasingly clear that the dynamics and relationships between testing, automation, and their management are complex and nuanced, even more so than you might imagine. While at the same time, the currently accepted practices and solutions are expected to be simple and straightforward. Like there's a lot of magic and woo that everybody gets excited about. So what I've come to see is that more foundational work is necessary to give the concept legs to stand on. And that means taking some time to research and refine, because talking through and attempting to write up my ideas, I'm finding that things aren't necessarily as clear in my mind as I thought they'd be. I thought I had an idea, and then as you might have known from your own practices, if you start trying to write about it or talk to other people, you start to see holes. But don't worry, and don't get disheartened. In terms of tooling and technology, I made some real solid progress on using Docker to simplify the setup of Jupyter Notebooks. And that includes using Java notebooks, not just Ruby, not just Python, and using Selenium with those. So right now I've got a demo for you if you're using Java, the king of automation languages, inside of a Jupyter Notebook. So here we have a relatively simple example using Java inside of a Jupyter Notebook. Part of the reason it's simple is because Java is in no way a native language for me. So it's definitely a little bit more rough in terms of code than I usually like to see. But bear with me. I think over time, the repository of tests and examples code that we'll have will be better. But for right now, let's step through it, and you'll be able to see Java in all of its glory, automating the browser. So our first step is a Maven dependency. This should be familiar to all you Java folks. We'll load up the Java bindings for Selenium. And then we'll import the namespaces and packages that we need from there. And then here we're using a remote WebDriver instance for controlling the browser. The short answer for using a remote WebDriver instance here is because of the Docker container. I'm not going to get into the details in this update. Hopefully I'll have a post I can share with you about the details and implementation here. But for right now, we're using it. You can trust that it's just because of the Docker container. Next, we're going to open the browser and browse to our website. And you can see here the page loaded. And then finally, we'll take a screenshot of the browser and render it inside of the notebook. And there you have it. We've got Java being used to automate inside of a Jupyter notebook. So with that, I hope you're as excited as I am to see the progress that's being made and what more is to come.